Aloha, it's Dan McDonald. I am Life Regenerator on YouTube, and I've got a recipe here today for you for anti-inflammatory purposes. I'm also going to go over some other principles that you can use to minimize and mitigate and alleviate the symptoms of excessive inflammation. Inflammation is a response by the body to help to protect itself and heal itself. So it's good in short-term doses, but long-term chronic inflammation is becoming more and more of a persistent problem because we are inundated with inflammatory causing elements, chemicals, and acids from the environment. So I've got a recipe here today. I'll put it down below in the description box, but I am going to make a pretty large batch of juice here because I like to just get the juicer out one time, make a few jars of juice, pop them in the fridge. Today I've got 1 pineapple, 2 cucumbers, 1 large bunch of mint. If you have the smaller ones, you might want to use 2 because the mint really helps to keep things cool and makes it taste really good, and it's got a lot of anti-inflammatory properties as well. And buried down here underneath I've got some cilantro, and then right here I've got a quart of coconut water. So what I've got are foods that are loaded with alkalinizing minerals. The coconut has electrolytes, the cilantro has chlorophyll and minerals, the mint is nice and soothing and cooling, and that has many other medicinal properties as well, as far as digestive and keeping your breath clean. And then the cucumber is probably one of the top anti-inflammatory fruits that we have because of the low sugar factor. Sometimes people have a negative effect to too much sugar, and so certain things like cucumber and even watermelon, if it's organic and you use the peel, that can also be very beneficial to wash away the acids that build up in the system and create a chronic inflammatory condition in the brain, in the nerves, in the gut, in the joints, etc. And then the pineapple here, of course, is also very well known to have certain enzymes in it that'll break up a lot of the protein plaque that stores all of the acids in the body. There's a million reasons why that happens, so I won't go into that today, but you've got these protein plaques in your body that are built up to protect you from the onslaught of all the foreign matter that does not belong in your very, very sensitive tissues. Imagine the tissues of a baby, nice and clean and fresh. And as we get older, we smoke and we drink and we overeat and we eat processed foods. And pretty soon, over the time, eventually what happens is, there becomes a buildup of things that irritate the cells. So we're washing away with the distilled living water from the fruits and vegetables. First of all, we've got the living water, and that's going to carry out all of the acids that are being neutralized by the alkalis in the fruits and vegetables. There's 2 foods that are alkalinizing: fruits and herbs. Fruits and herbs are the alkalinizers. That's why I've always been saying fruits and vegetables. We're in an over-acid state, and if we want to neutralize acidity, we've got to bring in the alkalinity. Okay, let me get started on the juice here. It's going to take me a few minutes, but I wanted to do a little prep there. I'm really here to educate. I've gone over this material many, many times, but I think that we need to continue to go over this material because it takes a while for it to sink in. I mean, you really want to program yourself with this information, which is my way of doing things, because I really love to stay young and stay flexible and stay healthy and stay energetic. And I've noticed over the years that once you get overloaded with acidity, then you are more in a state of irritability. You'll notice that those people that are in your life that are like always irritated, they've got stuff in their guts and they've got an accumulation of acidity. And if you could somehow magically convince them to saturate their body with these green juices for a few weeks, you would watch them change before your very eyes. We all get built up with excesses. They build up in the gut. They build up in the heart if you can't express yourself and express your emotions. And they get caught up in the brain. Violent movies, old thoughts, programs that just churn and churn and churn that actually end up leading to stress. So we're really trying to alleviate that buildup of acids by living a very calm and peaceful lifestyle. So I'm going to go over a few principles here. First of all, number one for the anti-inflammatory is the green juice, for the reasons we spoke of. For the living water, which will flush the system of acids and the alkalinizing minerals and the high enzymes. Enzymes are life. So the green juices are your medicine. You get a lot of enzymes in the fresh fruits and vegetables. Your body produces enzymes. You can't have too many enzymes. I'll actually be sharing with you a little bit before the end of the video, because what I do is I take enzymes with my green juice to make sure that I'm at the next level. I just watched a video the other day by a gentleman talking about the power of supplemental enzymes to bring down the inflammation response. In fact, while this finishes off, I'll let that finish off. I'll bust out the old enzymes right now. I've got Pyridine enzymes, and the reason why I use those is because they are the best. I have Lifezyme, what I like to use. I take a scoopful of that. That is a supplemental enzyme, okay? Also, Pyrazyme is a super concentrated enzyme, which is actually designed to help break up all those protein plaques. And then here's the Lifezyme in the caps. The Lifezyme in the powder is the same as the Lifezyme in the caps. It's just that I like to take a scoopful into my mouth. So I'm going to strain this juice today. So you want to look into the athletes who are using, they've done some studies in Germany, Russia, and Japan, mostly in Germany, on athletic recovery using supplemental enzymes. And they found across the board 100% of the time in all the studies done, they see a 50% reduction in recovery time when using supplemental enzymes. So very interesting for the athletes, or if you break a bone or you've got some kind of inflammation anywhere in the body. So check that out. Google supplemental enzymes and athletic recovery, and you'll find some incredible studies. They don't do anything here with the enzymes because these enzymes would put the medical establishment out of business, because then you would, because these work as blood thinners and digestive aids, and so most of the medical problems that people are dealing with would be mitigated by the use of those enzymes and living foods. So they absolutely will not ever let you know about diet. They don't know anything about it. They think diet has nothing to do with disease, when diet actually has every single thing to do with disease. In the sense of that it relates, if you're not feeling well and you're not happy, you're going to eat foods that are not conducive to health. And if you're in a good state of mind, you're going to choose to make better food choices. So obviously stress is very, very hard on the body. So there are psychological issues as well. You can use these foods though to help to create a more alkaline state. It's very useful to use these medicinal tools to keep the system calm, to keep yourself, well, I'm sweating. This is crazy. It's like Hawaii is just hot. Holy mackerel, forget about it. I was like, I'm just gonna up my game here. put on a shirt, but it's just too hot. Summertime in Hawaii, it's nuts. I'm gonna be sitting here sweating through this thing. It's crazy. Oh, that's more like it. Whew. Anyways, if you're gonna be real, you're gonna be real. It's like, you know, this information is like how I've saved my life. And then I ended up getting onto the living foods and then becoming way more natural than I was when I was programmed in the city. And you lose your mind in the city. You lose your consciousness. You lose your connection with nature because it's all concrete. And then it's hard to relate to those people who live in nature and in harmony with nature and eat nature's foods and breathe nature's air and absorb nature's sunshine. And so I live in the nature and I live for the nature because I am nature. So I eat the nature foods. I know that the juicing is just what I use as a tool to help me reverse all of the effects of the modern world. So I get concentrated because the food, like I was eating strawberry guavas yesterday. So the strawberry guava is a wild food. It's 100,000 times more nutrient dense than the food you get at the grocery store. So you get into the daily juicing habit because those foods don't have the same levels of nutrients. So once you put them through the juicer, you can concentrate them, you can minimize the need for digestion, and you save a lot of energy that way to be able to absorb, utilize, assimilate. And there isn't very much to eliminate either. Yes, you need fiber, but what you need more than anything else in these foods, and this is what the world does not understand, is that these foods are loaded with different gases that come from the sunlight, and they're oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen and carbon. And these gases are in the living foods. That's why you want to eat the living foods that are fresh off the trees and fresh out of the garden. And you want to get a juicer like this that actually slowly grinds and doesn't add any oxidation. I mean, if all you have is a spinning juicer, that's pretty good, you know, because it'll really up your game as far as like getting some juice into your life and getting your consciousness woke up. But when you get really into it and you want to go hardcore, you saw what happened with that mint. This mint is bone dry pulp. So it got out all the oils. You see what I'm saying? And you want those essential oils. And I want to break up these fibers in here, but I want to keep the gases and the enzymes and the living water so that I can just go straight back with it, knock that back, and get super energized. So I've got to, you know, I just really appreciate this opportunity that I've had to share this knowledge. And for those of you who have been watching for a long time, I'm really doing my best to try to, you know, to really do my best to be more presentable. Of course, I took my shirt off, but anyways, I just have the vision, you know. It's like I want to reach out to people because they need this, and this is very unique. You don't find much of this on YouTube or anywhere to where it's actual, real, true healing and youthening and flexibility and true energy that leads from, you know, health of the body to the health of the heart, and now to the health of the mind, getting organized. How can I do something with what I've been given here on the YouTube and in my life to make it better, to refine it, to refine myself, you know? So if I cut my hair and put on a shirt, there's good reasons for that, you know? And I would only wish for you to grow and everyone to grow and keep on growing, you know? And so that is what I'm here to do, is to continue to grow and refine. So green juice, boom, we got that, okay? Enzymes, boom, we talked about that. That's going to help to just release inflammation better than anything else, the enzymes in the green juice. Rest is the key. If you're stressed out, you can forget about healing. If you're stressed out, you can forget about losing weight. If you're stressed out, you can just let your hair fall out. You can get wrinkly skin, and you're just going to go out. You're going to be ushered out of here real fast. So stress is happening at the subconscious levels, And so you want to do everything you can to live a low stress lifestyle. Live within your means. Don't fall for all the hype of the programming that's going on around you, trying to keep up with the Joneses, because it'll stress you out. Live a simple life and be humble, and then you'll have life and energy to spare instead of you juggling more than you can manage, more than anyone could manage, because upon our shoulders have been laid innumerable burdens which the leaders themselves do not bear. So we bear the burden. Simplify. Just get rid of all that and all the hoopla about, excessive consumerism, and simplify yourself as much as you can. We're all starting out. We're all doing the best we can. That's all I'm trying to say, is to eliminate stress. The next thing is hydration, pure living water. That's going to help you to, the pure living water is going to help you to wash away the irritants that are inflaming you and making you irritated from, you go to these restaurants and stuff, and it's like, it's all restaurant food. It's designed to make you addicted so you come back tomorrow. This is not restaurant food. This is food here, liquids. We basically live a liquid lifestyle in this household. I mean, it's just how it is. Coconuts and cane juice and pineapples and cucumbers and apples and oranges. We just live a liquid lifestyle. And then we have a high water meal at night with some kind of herbs or fruits. So we live the liquid lifestyle because we are water-based beings. So get yourself the good spring water in glass. You want to start the practice of avoiding drinking water that's been stored in plastic, because those plastics contain chemical elements that are estrogen forming, and it'll throw off women, it'll throw off men, and the men will get overweight and they'll have man boobs, and the most important parts will start to shrink up and do weird things, and you won't have that virility and that masculinity. And for women, it'll throw you off your hormones and stuff, and you'll have these crazy periods and everything else. So you want to try to figure out a way to get the best water filtration system you can for your house. Drink distilled water and restructure that, and try to get water in glass bottles. The fact is, it was predicted many 30, 40 years ago that one day water will be more than gasoline, and at this time water is more expensive than gasoline. And that's where we're at right now, and that's what it has to be, because you can't drink the tap water and expect to do very well for any length of time. Okay, you just cannot drink the tap water. It is unacceptable. So this one is for me. I'll show you what I do. Just a few more minutes, but I wanted to just make sure that whoever needs to learn this stuff can learn it, and just get it dialed in. Share this video if you can with anybody who's having these problems, because the inflammation is terrible. I know better than you can imagine about inflammation, broken bones all throughout my whole thing, and other things that I've been through in this life that just were chronic inflammation. So I know, like, really well. This is near and dear to my heart. What's going on here? Okay, so live food. Next is the live foods. You want to be on a live foods diet. It's otherwise, because the cooked food is, everything that really matters, everything that allows you to absorb and utilize your food and create massively radiant health by the gases. The gases go into your digestive tract, through the GI tract wall, and into the blood, and then they build that blood, and they keep your blood in a high state of zeta potential, which is a thin blood, which gets deep into the crevasses of your brain, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, and it keeps everything working. As soon as those microcapillaries start to get clogged up with the various chemicals and the fats and the cooked starches and the high heated fats and the acrylamides from the barbecued foods and those things, the microcapillaries, a little tiny baby has got really good circulation. But after a while, those blood vessels start to harden up, circulation doesn't get to the skin, and you start to wrinkle, and you start to show signs of aging, and your heart doesn't work as well, and your brain doesn't work as well. You want to keep yourself in a high state of circulation. So that's what the Living Foods is all about. Eliminate all the acid-forming foods as much as possible, and that is the meat and the cheese and the dairy and the eggs and the nuts and the seeds. Yes, you need a little bit of acid forming foods to keep certain things moving, but it's more like 80-20, and society right now has got it backwards. They're like 80% acid forming, 20% alkaline forming. And you want it to be more like, 80% alkaline forming foods, and then more in the winter and the fall, a little bit more of the acid forming foods to create some friction and heat, but not all year round. In the summertime when it's 90 degrees eating cheeseburgers, that's way too much friction, way too much heat, way too much acidity when the warmth is already an acidity. You see, the cold is alkalizing. Oh, which moves me into, well, I've got a little list here that I wanted to reference so that I could dial it in and keep you on the way up in understanding. The next I have on the list is massage. And if you take a green juice like this, here's the epic plan for your massage, okay? You take some enzymes. You take some enzymes. That was about a half the serving for me, but if I would have took a big one, it would have took me about another whole minute to get the saliva in there, otherwise it pops out. You take a blast of enzymes. The only reason I promote Pyridine is because they're the best enzymes in the world. They're the most concentrated. You get the most for your money. And I know the enzyme industry, and I will tell you that you are getting a lot of fillers with those other companies. They are putting a lot of fillers in their enzymes, and they're not as concentrated, and you're spending a lot more money to get a lot less power. This company has integrity to the nth degree, all the way up to the levels of the divine. So you take your enzyme, and then you take your green juice. Oh my God. Now you go get yourself a massage and watch what happens. You leave out all the acid forming foods. You drink water and green juice, blast some enzymes, and then go get a massage and just release so much acid buildup. And then after the massage, then you drink a nice quart of ice cold spring water in glass. Boom, that's not even full. I want a full one for the show. Nice ice cold spring water, and that will just flush all those acids out of the system. Number 7 on the list, meditation is going to help you to be calm and deal with the stress, because when you're stressed, your endocrine glands are producing a lot of inflammatory chemicals. It's like if you're getting chased by the saber-toothed tiger, that's cool. You want that adrenaline. You want to get up on the tree and get the hell out of there and get away from the saber-tooth. The problem is in our modern world, with everything that we got going on and the programming that's being used to keep that energy of fear alive in the human species, so that we're much more easy to control, then you're going to realize that you don't want to be in a state of fight or flight all the time, because that is acidic chemicals in the system. And you're always in a state of tightness, constriction. And if you want to heal and lose weight and get well and have energy, you have to be able to relax and let go, so that the intelligence that governs the body can do what it already knows how to do. But if your brain is stressed out from all these thoughts that you have up in there about, oh my God, I'm going to lose the house. Oh, my boss doesn't like me. Oh, I did a bad job on that thing. You're worried and fear and stress, and the guy in traffic and all this stuff. That's why I say live a simple life. Plan now, and get away, move out, and go to the country where it's chill and everybody's simple and they grow their own food and it's just low key. The high stress, some people can dig it, but it's not really conducive for the human brain and nervous system, to be quite honest. I don't think the brain and the nervous system has gotten to a place yet where it can even handle the amount of stimulation. And I think we get stuck on overdrive, and then it becomes almost impossible to heal when you're 30 or 40 or 50 and you get some diagnosis of some kind of disease, and then you've got this whole lifestyle you're trying to keep up with. And society does not promote healing. You have to do it yourself. You have to take care of yourself. They're not going to say, well, your boss isn't going to say, oh, you can take 6 weeks off or 3 months off to go and do a juice fast and relax and heal yourself and cure yourself of some disease. The world isn't set up like that, and it's sad because it should be, because then the world would be a much better place because everyone would take the time to have the time to be well. But the world's not going to do that for you. You got to do it for yourself, and that's the real deal from DTM. Straight up, because I know I had to fight to get my life and build and work hard and think smart and live right and be true to me so that I could stay happy and be fulfilled, because it's so easy to get stuck into like slavery. You want to break free from that ASAP. It's not anyone's fault, and I'm not saying that we're victims or anything like that. We have freedom to choose. Anyways, next is the cold water treatment for the anti-inflammatories. If you have just a cold shower, the hot and cold is really, really good, but the most important is the cold water treatment. A nice cold bath, or for me, I go to Makaleha Spring where I get my water, and I get in there for about 15 minutes. And I just, broken shoulders and stuff, that just broken knees. I mean, like I've been through it in this life, so I go in there and I can just sit, and it just brings it all down, the inflammation. So a cold bath, a dip in a river, a swim in a cool lake, a cold lake, whatever, just to bring the temperature of the body down. It'll calm that inflammatory response and bring that swelling down. So that's the hot and cold treatment is really, really well too. When you take a hot shower and then you hit it with the ice cold, and you just get used to as much cold as you can. As long as you can, the longer I sit in the spring, the better I feel when I'm done. Sometimes I'll just sit there for like a minute and I just won't be in the mood, but sometimes I just soldier it up and just be like, oh, this feels so good. I'll just be sitting in there till I'm starting to kind of shake a little bit in this high flowing, the coldest water on the island that I can find. And I just feel after 15 minutes of being in there and just sitting in the water, it just, oh, you feel so good, okay? Okay, yeah, hot or cold treatment. The last thing I guess on the list I already mentioned was the athletics, was the athletic recovery with the enzymes, and how, especially in Germany, because in Germany or Russia and Japan, the interesting place where they use enzymes medically, those are the places where they want you to get well. In America, it's a private business and industry. I call it the death industry. And so there's no motivation for them to look for real, you can't use that word really. They're not inclined to help you to truly heal, true healing. And one of these days I'm going to figure out how to make videos, and I'm going to figure out how to get this across in a way to where it's not like 25 minutes or whatever in shorter clips. But this is an education. This is 20 years of my work that I had to do for myself. So I'm so happy to have this as my job and as my purpose, because I need this. And I need to stay involved in this. And I have always needed true healing. I am not a dude who is going to paint over rust. I'm not here to airbrush my problems away. I'm one of those people, and I hope you are too, that is actually looking for the cause of your problems. Why is there drama in your life? Why do you have pain? How did you end up with this disease? What choices did you make? What's going on inside your mind that is magnetizing to you these people, these places, these things, and these experiences? What is it inside you that you are creating and sending out so that you're getting that back? And so we're doing this inner work, and we're using the food as a tool. We're using the other things as tools that we've got to move us forward so that our body finds ease. And when our body finds ease, then we can breathe into our heart. In our heart, we can process all of the things that we've been through with courage and faith and forgiveness, and the heart softens and opens and it gets stabilized, and then we can begin to eliminate all the thoughts and all the programming and make up our own way of thinking. And we can have our own, we can clear the lens, and we can look at nature. That's my teacher. I look at the trees and the grass, and I look at the birds, and that is where I learn. That's what I just observe. It's like you can go to the university and read 1,000,000 books and maybe impress some people with all your intellectual data, but at the end of the day, only the truth is going to work. And that is everything that I live for, and everything I hope to be a sharer of and a good example of. Okay, so I make these videos and I do my very best to educate and inspire and have a little recipe, but it's really, at the end of the day, it's like you got to sit here for God knows how long, 30 something minutes in order, for me to get to the point that's the most important part of the video, is right there towards the end. A 33-minute video. This is real to me. The people that follow this, I've seen their lives change. The people that don't, I don't see them change. Get alkalized, get hydrated, blast yourself with enzymes, do all these other things we talked about on this list, and be blessed, be free, and experience the radiant health that you deserve. And so it is.